The Trespassers was written by Claire McFall. It is the second book in the Ferryman series and continues the story of Dylan and Tristan. The first book, Ferryman, followed Dylan as she found herself in the afterlife after a tragic train accident. Instead of crossing over as she was supposed to, she met Tristan, a ferryman responsible for guiding lost souls across the wasteland to their final destination. But something unexpected happened. Dylan and Tristan fell in love. They broke the natural order, and instead of saying goodbye forever, Dylan found a way to return to life. But she didn't go alone. Tristan came back with her, becoming part of the world of the living. The story begins with Dylan waking up in a hospital, confused but relieved to find Tristan by her side. However, their return to the real world is not as simple as they hoped. Dylan's mother is suspicious of Tristan, unsure of where he came from or why Dylan is so attached to him. The tension between them grows as Dylan tries to defend him while dealing with the overwhelming feeling that she is no longer the same person who boarded that train. The connection between her and Tristan is unlike anything she has ever known. If they are apart for too long, an unbearable sense of suffocation and pain overtakes them, pulling them toward death. It becomes clear that their bond is more than emotional. It is a tie between life and the afterlife itself. On top of that, Dylan notices something strange about her body. Her broken leg, which should take weeks to heal, recovers at an unnatural speed. Her senses feel sharper, her movements more fluid, almost like she is still connected to the wasteland. Meanwhile, troubling news spreads. 4 train workers were found dead in the tunnel where Dylan and Tristan escaped. This raises a terrifying possibility. If they made it out, what else could have come through? Determined to fix whatever they may have caused, Dylan and Tristan return to the tunnel, hoping to close any passage between worlds. But when they arrive, they are not alone. The darkness inside is thick and heavy, carrying whispers that seem to follow their every step. They feel it before they see it, something unnatural moving in the shadows. As they try to seal the tunnel, a terrifying creature emerges, attacking them. Tristan shields Dylan, fighting fiercely, but he is badly injured. They barely escape, forced to retreat and recover before trying again. As days pass, the disturbances in their world increase. Dylan starts seeing shadowy figures in the corners of her vision, reflections in mirrors that disappear when she turns. At night, the whispers grow louder, voices calling her name from the darkness outside her window. It feels like something from the wasteland is hunting them, waiting for the right moment to strike. Before long, they realize that not only spirits but also powerful forces from the afterlife have been watching them closely, waiting for them to fail. Then, at a Halloween school dance, their worst fear comes true. A figure steps out of the shadows, the judge, an enforcer of the afterlife's laws. His presence is overwhelming, his voice cold as he declares Tristan's crime. Abandoning his duty as a ferryman has disturbed the natural order, and for that, both he and Dylan must die. Desperate to protect Tristan, Dylan begs for mercy. The judge, unmoved at first, finally gives them a choice. If they can stop the spirits that escaped and restore balance within 3 days, they will be allowed to stay in the world of the living. But his warning is clear. If they fail, there will be no second chances. Their mission becomes even more complicated when they meet Susanna and Jack. Susanna, another former ferryman, has also broken the rules, bringing Jack, a soul she was supposed to guide, into the real world. Like Dylan and Tristan, they are bound together. If they separate, they experience the same suffocating pain. But Jack is restless and full of doubt, suspecting that Susanna's reasons for saving him are not what she claims. Meanwhile, Susanna seems too interested in Tristan, hinting at feelings beyond simple friendship, creating tension that Dylan struggles to ignore. Tristan, caught between his past as a ferryman and his new reality, doesn't know how to respond to Susanna's strange connection to him. Despite their differences, the 4 agree to work together to stop the spirits and seal the tunnel. But the escaped souls are stronger than expected, feeding off the energy of the living. The battle grows more dangerous as the deadline nears. The spirits are clever, luring them into illusions, forcing them to relive their worst memories. Dylan finds herself trapped in a vision of the train crash, hearing the screams of passengers as if it is happening all over again. Tristan, meanwhile, is haunted by the souls he once guided, their whispers accusing him of abandoning his duty. The group is tested in ways they never imagined. Jack begins to panic, wanting to flee, but Susanna reminds him that running will only bring disaster. She urges him to be strong, but Jack's fear only grows, making Dylan and Tristan question whether they can trust their new allies. As the third day ends, the judge reappears to announce his decision. Dylan and Tristan have completed their part of the deal, but Susanna and Jack have not. The judge sentences Susanna to return to the wasteland, taking away her chance to stay in the human world. Jack, overcome with fear, tries to escape, but in doing so, he unknowingly breaks the 10-step rule that binds him to Susanna. The moment he does, the bond between them snaps, and he collapses, lifeless. Susanna vanishes along with him, her fate sealed. The harsh truth becomes clear. There is no mercy for those who fail. With the balance restored, the judge turns to Dylan and Tristan. True to his word, he allows them to stay in the real world. But before he leaves, he warns them. The boundary between life and death is fragile, and they are still tied to forces beyond their understanding. Though they have been given a second chance, their journey is far from over. Dylan senses that the judge's warning is more than just words. It is a reminder that their presence in the living world is unnatural, and sooner or later, they may have to face the consequences. Dylan and Tristan are left standing together, knowing they have won this fight, but uncertain of what the future holds. Their love has survived the impossible, but at what cost? Trespassers is an intense continuation of their story, exploring love, sacrifice, and the thin barrier between life and death. It is a story of resistance, of fighting against destiny, and of discovering what truly matters when the world itself seems determined to keep them apart. The tension remains, leaving readers with the unsettling question: what happens when love challenges the rules of existence? And what happens when fate refuses to be ignored?